to accord a formal welcome to our honorable chief guest for the occasion. I request our distinguished dignitaries to kindly come forward and felicitate our chief guest, Madam Nandita Garlosa. Chairperson Academic, sir, to kindly felicitate Madam with a token of our love and gratitude. The moment we all have been waiting for. Let us now delve into the heart of our celebration. This coffee table book is not just a collection of images. It is a portal to the past, a window to the present, and a beacon for the future. It encapsulates the essence of our museum, a treasure trove of artifacts and stories that resonate with the soul of Northeast India. With utmost respect, I once again request Madam Garlosa to kindly join us on the stage to release the coffee table book. I request our dignitaries to kindly join us on the stage. Can we have the other copies of the coffee table book? Ma'am, your kind gesture will illuminate the path for future generations to appreciate our cultural heritage. We'll forever remain indebted to you for your time and for accepting our invitation to grace this occasion and make it momentous for us. All the students here, just have a glimpse of the book and go through each pages of the book. You will find immense knowledge there. You'll find information that will remain with you forever. I request you, ma'am, to kindly address our students who have been waiting to listen to your words of wisdom. Ma'am.
Good afternoon to you all, dear students, and all the esteemed guests of today's program. I'm very much blessed to be here amongst you all for the launching of the coffee table book. Generally, I don't know how much you have been expecting from me to listen on the words of whatever we are going to speak, but for an interactive session or to make it more lightly, I'll just have an interaction with you so that it becomes more informative for me also to speak. When we were there, we just heard Professor Bora speaking to us, saying that many of the students had really participated in making out the museum of what it has come today. And I also expect that all the students seated over here must be the ones who have been contributing there. Can I have your hands please raise up, those students who have contributed in any of the sections over here, and if you are being seated amongst us? Anybody amongst the students? And then if you really, yeah, you have contributed over there. I've seen him. And then here is there. Please raise up your hand so that I just want. Okay, please stand so that. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much. Please be seated. Okay. So that's one information that for me also that many of the students have really participated, and this is really a teamwork. Actually, when I see as a museum, like what Professor Bora had said, I am completely opposite of what she believes or what she had said. I believe more in a natural museum, and I belong from a place where museums are natural, as I believe. And if we keep on thinking more of a natural museum, that looks more informative, and that is what the next generation should also look up to. Because everything that we look in a museum is what we think is, it always has to be inside and in under one roof, and it has to be the stigma is that it has to be under a roof, and then we have to see, and then we have to understand. And any museum that we always think of, it is only of an object that she has already said. For me, if I think of a museum, I would like to look it in the Living World Museum. And if you're talking of a living world museum, you'll find it in the seas, you'll find it in the land, you'll find it in the earth where the living museum is. And those living museums are very interesting. We will not be able to keep it in the storehouse, what we think it, in the near future, if you're not preserving it from now itself only. And if we start preserving it from now itself, we will definitely try to see the natural museum, which we want to keep it as it is in its original form. And then comes the work of an organic. Now, when we had seen over there, there were many things which had come under industrialization. The sections were there, where industrialization is there. The sections were there, what Assam is famous for. And to all the students who were seated here, many of you must have not been from Assam, but I believe that this university is an university for the students of the Northeast. And I was also being told it is not only Northeast now, it has become internationally more acclaimed also. So to say, when we are in under one roof, and then having so many numerous numbers of students from different parts of the state, which are culminating together, and then having here under one roof, then there are so many diverse ways of understanding one another also. So as to say, when we understand more of one another, we understand their culture, we understand everything, starting it socially up to culturally, whatever we want to understand. Now, this university is really a pride for us, for people, for many of the younger generation. Wherever we go, we see many of the students. And when we ask in my own place also, I don't know how many are from my own place. I cannot see because I cannot recognize. If you recognize me, please raise up your hand. Many of our students are from my place. I know they are studying here, but I don't know whether you are here seated or not. I belong from, I don't think so, they are here. Okay, so whenever we keep on asking them, it's for younger students like you all, like where we want to study or where do you want to take admission to, the first thing that comes to it's an Royal Global University. Why is the name so important for each of the students? The important is that it is important, and the importance is that because of the legacy that it has started and the legacy that it wants to continue. And this has to be something extraordinary, and then if you can create an extraordinary out of it, really it will be a blessing for the institute as well as for the state of Assam. When we were looking through over the museum, it's a very teamwork, an informative way of museum where we have kept it either industrialization, as we have said, we have gone for the Majuli mask, we have seen the other sections also. But in reality, the administration that I look up to it here, I'll take it up from there also, I look up to power, I look up to ITFC, I look after corporation, I look after sports. It's a diverse way of understanding the topic which we administer it for the state of Assam. The moment earlier, it was more interesting when I had mines and minerals. Right now, I don't have the mines and minerals, but when I had mines and minerals, it was very an alternate way. One way I was having a power, one way I was having an ITFC, and the other way I was having in mines and minerals. If I'm going more into mines and minerals, then it will be a destruction of it. And if I want to save the mines and minerals, I will think that I'm destructing more of the environment in terms of pollution, say it in terms of pollution, say in terms of your energy, wherever either it can be a renewable or non-renewable. It moves all into it, and then we come to know, what am I supposed to do? A time comes when we are seated in the office, and then a question in my mind comes, how do I correlate to this type of a departments that we keep on and then make it a success for the state of Assam also? Thankfully now, mines and minerals is not with me, so I can concentrate and I can speak more on, even though the other section of what I am touching about is the museum, and then what you have kept there in the museum is what I am talking of in the coal sector. You have touched very properly the coal sector of Margarita. Even if the museum is there, try to find it out. Have an interest on the coal sector. What coal sector can really give it us. Whether coal sector can really give a thermal power for us from Assam. whether the coal sector, the more we go in, whether it will produce more of environmental disaster, whether it will be there, or whether for the coal sector, which is also there not only in Margarita, but in other parts of Assam also. So not only in Assam, if I take it from students who are from the other parts of northeastern states, what about the coal sector if we are talking of Meghalaya? What about the coal sector we are talking of Nagaland? If we are to survive in the near future, how are we to make it a collaborative effort to keep it as it is, or to use it judiciously, and to give it sufficiently for the people of the state of Assam also. So these are the thoughts for the young minds to keep in mind. When you are moving forward, you have to keep in your mind, how do we move forward, keeping everything. At the same time, I'm just pushing it back. It's about the museum only. Like when Professor Sheila Bora had given a brief description of Margarita, it is a very nice way of production. But at the same time, she had done it very nicely that the coal had been transported through the railways, and the railways had come for that only. But one section of the railways that you all, whether that's just an informative that I'm giving it to you, the rail, that only one track rail was present only in the district that I belong to, and that was very famous. So now it is no longer, but the thing is that we had seen it, but the younger generation will not be able to see. And when the younger generation is unable to see, we tried to put them in the museum, saying that these was there then, but now it is no longer. So this is an information of what museum is really for me. I believe more in natural, that is what I have been saying. But for many of the generation that we long to see for, we will always be keeping ourselves that natural museum will not be so much into how we are thinking, but what I'm trying to say is that we really need to preserve it for the longer run to really see it. Keeping all those few sections, if I really want to see how, for some, I mean, like for younger generation of you all, how do you really expect, or how do you want to see how the state of Assam grows, and what will be your contribution, or how do you expect us to move forward in what scenario we are in? I will say that we are very lucky enough to be present in this today's world, to see how India is really expanding. We were of your age, then we had no idea of how India could have expanded, of what pace it has expanding now. We never could have imagined, and we never have thought it. What we have thought it at that time was, India, we studied in the books in our generation as India is an developing country. But at present situation, we cannot say the sentence of India as a developing country. We will try to say now we can change, I think we can change the sentence from a developing country to a developed country. Because we know that we are in one of the 5 nations where we have already pushed ourselves, and we are trying to push more ourselves in the top list of the world in number 3. And when we are trying to push it up ourselves, we know what the government is doing, what the government of India is doing under the able leadership of Modi ji, how he has tried to transform as a Prime Minister what India was and where we are in. If I think of sports also, when we were of your, nobody has thought of sports from any place in saying that, okay, India can come up in a national level or international way of, or in an Olympics or in a Paralympics to get this many number of medals. But now we have scope for each and every student among the 4 corners of India, that we can make them proud to have their aim in life in the sports field. If we are following to the sports sector, earlier we had only of an obsession of cricket as the only game, and we were only watching cricket. And a passion of watching cricket is still with me, but we hardly get time nowadays. And that was the only game, whether we don't play, but we watch. And then we learn through watching only what a game of cricket was. And cricket has taken away every other game, and then every Indian were so much engrossed in the match of cricket, especially between India and Pakistan. Overall, the gentlemen seated over here above my age, they will understand what India and Pakistan really matters when the cricket match was being played. But now, beyond that, there are so many matches where Indians are lifting up the trophies every now and then. Take it badminton, take it hockey, take it other sports, you name it, and then we are there. So these young generations who are seated here, I think, I don't know how many of you are interested in sports. If you are interested in sports, your university is one of the best, and I have seen it over here also. Try to use whatever facilities are being given it. Go for a competition with the other universities. And one of the best thing is that if you want to go for any national level that has to be played, it is always through the university. And when the universities are being recognized, that is when it gets an affiliation to be a participant in the national level, and that becomes one of the criteria for you to enter it. When Assam last year, not last year, this year itself only, when Assam had gone for when hosted the Khelo India University Games, we were really surprised. And I was very ashamed of myself also, because we couldn't produce any of the universities to participate in the university games. Why? Because we never played. Why did we never play? We never played in school. We never thought that sports could be in a university game, in any sports could be taken up as a challenge in the university game. We had so many universities coming from northeastern states also. But sad to say, Assam was not there in one of the category also to fill up any of the criteria to be an entrant for only to participate in the university games. So also to make this participation more into the lives of the people or the younger generation, the Assam government had tried now to give it a platform known as a Khel Maharan, which we started in last year also, and this year also we have been trying to put the Khel Maharan. Till today we started Khel Maharan, last year we started it. You will be surprised to see that the number of participants are 51 lakh number of participants from the state of Assam, they had participated. And finally, out of all these 51 lakhs, 612 had really top-notch, and then they are being trained under the different coaches by the from the government of India and from the government of Assam. So the government of Assam is not only trying to make it a hue and a cry saying that a Khel Maharan is there, but then that we really try to follow it up, keeping in mind that one of the younger generation will really make it up a mark in the national as well as in the national level in the term of sports. This year also, I don't know whether you will be able to participate or not. I am not aware, because many of you students are from other states also. But if you belong to Assam, and if you're interested, do kindly participate in the games that has been already been listed out in 7 disciplines. And from 30th of September till today is 29th of September, till 10 a.m. of today's registration, if I just speak to you on the topic of registration, you will be amazed to see that in these 29 days, there were 44 lakhs registration under 14, under 17, above 17. So this is what the government of Assam is trying to do for the youngsters. Those who are interested in sports can really come up and then try to have the luck and then shine for their future in terms of sports. Discipline that we have taken it up here. Those who are very good in outdoor games are also there. Indoor games are also there. We have kept cycling. We have kept chess. We have kept swimming. We went for athletics in 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, long jump. We went for volleyball. We are going for football. We are going for kabaddi. So we have a minimum number of disciplines this year, which we try to capture among the students of the younger generation. So these, by large, we are trying to push it up. And I believe if you belong from the state of Assam, and then if you really want to participate, you are most welcome. Please do register and try to have your luck. Maybe your luck will be captured among the rest of among the 44 lakh people, and then you can shine yourself. So these are a few of the things that we keep on doing. And because we were from the academic field, politics, if I want to say, it was never in my life, I've never thought of politics. It was only in academics that we started it. As I was moving through, I saw Minaram Natsa. He's there. I was very surprised to see him. But thankfully, after 10 or 15 years, I think I've seen him back. He was also one of, he was my teacher for botany when I studied my higher secondary. And then later on, when I went and I was in the college, by then, sir must have moved to Cotton College by then. And then I was in Haflong Government College, making, trying to make the life of some of the students shape better. Later on, there was an opportunity for me. We really struggled. I mean, like, when you see me over here, you might be thinking, okay, she is young, she must have got it as a minister, that she must be using APA and so on and so that, but we really struggle. So if I talk of my struggling, we completed our courses, whatever we want to, because we wanted to be so much in an academic. And this is for those type of students who really think that you cannot do it, you can do it. This is what I'm trying to tell it to you. If you want to listen, you listen, but be very attentive on them. They're very, very, very important. You never know where your destiny is. We had completed the education that we wanted to. You wanted to be in the academic line, so pursued everything. The government of India gave this circulation saying that you need to go for a net. That was when net entered. And then earlier to that, there was no net. So net entered, SLET entered. Then the government of Assam had gone for the, what you call the APSC had come out. When APSC came out, you studied everything, you are eligible now. When APSC came out on the subject of the, your job of when it came up on this, it came up on this subject itself only. I mean, like rooster system was being maintained. I belong from an ST, so ST was not on this subject. It never happened. But when we tried to apply for it, it came on an ST, and specifically there was no post for an. I studied entomology basically from zoology. I'm an entomologist. So when I studied entomology, there was no scope for an ST for an entomologist. There was a scope for an SC for an entomologist, and it never happened in any of the APSC's history also. But that was the only period when it happened, and I could not apply. I could not even apply for it being eligible for it also. So criteria all gone for all the hard days work of 5 years of college plus 2, and then you're thinking of that, okay, one day you'll be teaching in a college, and then the dream had shattered then and then only. You don't know where to go. It is such like that. But then you keep on thinking, okay, I'll just work for the college of a mere sum. At that time, a mere sum of somewhere around 8,000 rupees. We worked it for a period of 7 or 8 years. But at that time, we never thought that, okay, whatever education we gave it perfect education. None of the students could say that, okay, just because madam is getting 8,000, we are not getting the education what we want to. So this is how that is what the term of having it, giving it back in terms of what the younger generation of today's generation should really keep that in mind. So that was what we started on. Then came being an entomologist. I thought that, okay, where will the life of an entomologist could be? There is a scope, but at the same time, when you are rushing, bustling with a huge number of population, trying to grab a job opportunity, it's very, very difficult, and it's really difficult. Then came the option of studying somewhere. No more. You cannot go anywhere to study. Also, if you want to now, your age has crossed. There are some limits that needs to be. You have to face it. But then you don't get an opportunity also. So somewhere there was an advertisement. The advertisement is the only hope at that time that you will be looking forward also. When we did it, you will be only looking for an advertisement. What is the next one? What is the next? And what is the next? So finally, when the next one came, there was an from NVDCP that is called as a National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program, which was being run under by the government of India. And I tried to apply it, but I did not want to leave the college at all because I'm so passionate of giving an education to the younger generation. Whether I know or I don't know, but I'm very passionate with the education. So I was worried whether I will be giving or whether I should apply or I should not apply. But then I had to apply. And when I had to apply, when I went, I was the only candidate from my district. poor me, I was thinking in the crossword saying that, should I go to the other side of the road or should I stay over here? And if I stay here also, for how long? Because I can understand myself that even if the next APSC comes, next APSC will not be given anymore an entomologist post. So gone will be the rest of my life. But with one hope, I just went to the outside world. Leaving my classroom, I just thought that, okay, the outside world is also, there will be so many students. There will be students not in the particular age, but there will be students, there will be so many, at least I'll be able to give them information, whatever I want to and whatever I can. So then that started the journey of moving from the classroom to the next, that is to the open air, where I'm talking of a natural museum. So when I went to the outside world, I understood what the pains and sufferings of the people from the villages are, what are the pains and sufferings of the mediocre people are, what are the pains and sufferings of everybody. So this is how the journey started. Now you can understand, when we had to cross a river, 3 rivers had to be crossed, 2 mountains had to be crossed, to go and reach one village, where the village is only situated at the top of the area, and the border area between Assam and Nagaland, and that belongs from my district, and there are only 4 houses, imagine. And we had to cross that river, 3 rivers and 2 mountains, only because a child had died because of a vector-borne disease. Think of how the government used to work. A government is working on the basis of a person had died it, and why did the person die, how did the person die. That is the ultimate aim, that we have to find it and search it out. And on those road of journey, we never thought ourselves that, okay, we will not go and then try to see there, that because there are only 4 houses. Had I not gone there, I don't think any officer would have gone and then see the numbers of houses over there, which are only 4. Had I not gone there, I would have never seen how the difficulty of those people are, that you stay in that village for only 4 houses, and you had to cross that 3 rivers, 2 mountains, and imagine the dead body was also being taken in the same way. This is life. This is not a movie that I'm just saying, this is life. And then when you see the reality of the life, you become a different person. And if you have the courage to face it, we will be able to face it. This is the only ultimate I'll be giving you. Have the courage to face it, whatever circumstances it comes in. And maybe the blessings of the people had landed me today where I am in. When somebody had read out my but I'll be saying it, or the CVs that was saying that, okay, I completed my studies in Haflong Government College, really. But that was the only government college I have it in my district. And that's the only government college we had it in 3 colleges, government colleges in Assam. Then, now, you see a number of universities are there. So this is what the transition of it is, what is transition of the phase of life can really change it. My dear students, if you think that you are the last girl, only have patience and have a confidence that you will be able to succeed in life. And to those students who always believe that I'm the topper, it's very difficult to be a successful career. You may be a topper in the classroom. My students, you can be a topper. First, second, third has been in the fingertips you can be. But to become a successful career in your life is very, very difficult. And to those students who think that you are the last benchers, and then you can never be able to be successful, everybody is mocking at you in the class, but keep a faith that you will be able to have a successful career. So success, when it comes to you, you have to really work hard. You cannot say that, okay, I'm just seated over here in a very good university and then I'll be able to do whatever I can. But at the same time, those students who are thinking that, okay, I'll never be able to do it, make it very sure that you can also do it. So this is all I have to give it to you from my end. A little bit of ups and downs of what we had faced it, and then I am standing in front of you. I'm very lucky to have been blessed by Professor Sheila Bora. I think I met a year back in the Indian Art Congress, I think, if I'm not mistaken then. And then the next interaction with her was when Assam had got India had got the Charaido Moidam as a World Heritage Site. I will request the VC and the management to kindly take your students to World Heritage Site visit on an excursion trip. It's very nearby. It's in Charaido district. At least you should understand why this Charaido has been given as a World Heritage Site in the cultural section. And it's the 43rd in India that we had got the World Heritage Site, and the only World Heritage Site in the section of the cultural where we have gained it. And why you had gained it, you'll understand what a home history was and how they had really kept the Moidam to be as a sacred place, and the cultural identity of the Ahom period of our time, how it had, that is also one of the very interesting piece. And to get it, that is also a story, and that is also relating to a museum. When we had, when the Assam government had celebrated the 400th birthday of Lachit Borphukan in Delhi, that was where I think we really had clicked the section of Charaido Moidam. When the Honorable Prime Minister had visited the museum, we had a museum section from our Archaeology department, especially from ITFC. The ITFC department holds archaeology, library, and museum. And then in the museum section, we had placed ourselves from the archaeology department, what are the things, archaeological things, and the museums of Assam. We had described it very, very nicely, that I can say proudly, from the government of Assam. Then there were visits from the few dignitaries, political dignitaries. Every section of the people had come in. But we were very blessed to have the Honorable Prime Minister visit the whole section of the museum from the state of Assam to understand it, how it had been done, and what are the features, how it has been carried, the histories, and everything. So there he had an interaction with the Honorable Chief Minister of what the Moidam is and how it had come. And it is a very interesting fact, and we had really placed it very particularly in museum. So any museum that had given a way forward for World Heritage Site, I believe, as the Ministry of Archaeology, will be the 400th birthday of Lachit Borphukan. That reminds me of 2 years back, that we had done this at Delhi, and this is how museum can really bring a part and name for the Assam also. So kindly visit Charaido Moidam. You will have more interesting facts. There are many opportunities for the job opportunities also. I don't know how many are history students, how many will like to move through archaeology, how many would like to see, and then you will be also surprised that there are, when Sheila Bora, I'll just mention your name again and again, because you were the speaker before me, when I cannot speak anybody else's name because you are the one who spoke it. And I cannot refer others also. So like you said, like if anything, if any more of contribution is left in this museum, if you can contribute, I'll just give you a brief idea of the stone jars. If it can really be depicted over here, please do that, so that the younger generation will understand what the stone jars are. It's only in Laos, Cambodia, and the next place that you will find it in will be in my district, that is in Assam, Dima Hasao, where there is a village called as a Chaikam, being dominated by the Naga population areas. And in that Chaikam, it is more than Laos. Nobody had done earlier any of the scientific studies or any of the research. That is why it was being just lying like that in the village or in any of the natural way. But then now the people have been trying to move in. The archaeology department is there, the history department is there. They have been going on from Nehru University, from Nagaland University, from Govt University, and the researchers are there, the scholars are there. Now we had found that there are more the number of stone jars, more than Laos. So we are trying to push in that also. I believe that if that pieces are being kept in your institute, that will be a wonderful thing for the younger generation to also understand what the stone jars are. Thank you very much. I only have to give you all this, a small piece of, I know you did not want to listen to what I was speaking, but for me, I thought like this is some of the informative things that we could give it from on and off. But I understand that you must be more interested in others than what I have spoken in. Then some other day, if I really get an opportunity to be with you all, to organize the sports event and then to see, I think you will be more interested in playing games rather than listening to what I have been speaking. Thank you very much for having me here. If anything that you have to ask it, you may. Thank you very much for having me here.
Please give your name and your department, okay?
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Sonam Shreng. I'm from History Department. Thank you for your time, ma'am. I would just like to ask that museum is such an important aspect of our society, and we are lucky to have a museum in our own university. And it's a place where we can learn about our own culture and history. Unfortunately, museum for many people it is inaccessible. So how can we make it accessible for everyone? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, a very interesting question. How can we make it more accessible? It has to be both vice versa. We have to make an awareness for the students, also giving more information of what museum really is. And from the other side also, there has to be more number of museums. Yeah, I think that's a university is very rare in having a museum. That is why the younger students don't know what museum actually is and whether we should have a career in museum or not. Someday, if you all allow us, we will come with the department and they will give you more important information to you on really whether you can have a career in the field of museum. Thank you. But I think it's a vice versa. We have to make it more. You also have to make an awareness. But a time comes when we go for a museum, if what we see is that if I go to some of the other places, if I visit Kolkata, I will not go to Kolkata Victoria Museum. Very sure. My parents will also not take me in today's generation. Where we will go to the hang-ups where we want to have it more better time rather than going for a museum. But to understand what is the basic necessity of museum, we should have it in the college level only so that the students can look and have an idea of what it is really. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, ma'am. Myself, Harshit Sinha from Department of History. Ma'am, citing the best examples of Lovelina Borgohain and Hima Das, how does the government of Assam plan to support and uplift the players who hail from rural regions of Assam?
Thank you very much. The Assam government has come up with a very good systematic way of Khel Maharan. Khel Maharan has got only 7 disciplines of game this year. Last year we had 3. Any player who come up to the top level from the grassroots, and when we had conducted this, we don't conduct only in the center of the city, Guwahati, or some of the metros, some of the metro towns, I will say. But we conduct it from the grassroots level, and when it is being conducted from the grassroots level, we go to the Gaon Panchayat, then it comes to the block level, then it comes to the district level, then it comes to the constituency level, and finally it comes to the state. So when it comes in that way, definitely we do find many of the youngsters who have participated in terms of games are really from the grassroots level. Mind it, it's really from the grassroots level. Yesterday, for your more information, I'll just say that we had to do a meeting with the private schools of the institutes of Guwahati separately because many of the students or the parents are not allowing the students to play. So the concept of having this game by the parents is also true in their sense because they have never seen a successful a player for any parent to say that okay मेरा लड़का अगर खेलना है मेरा बच्चा अगर खेलना है तो हमको वहाँ पे ज़िंदगी नहीं देखता है हमको वहाँ पे थोड़ा अंधेरा देखता है because the government cannot facilitate whatever the parents or the children want to have an aim. So there has to be the concept of making the fear of the parents move away from it. It was the responsibility of the government and actually that is what we have been trying to do. So it's an encouraging way for any of the students. If you really want to play hard, the government is really there to make you come up to the top level. Lovelina, before Khel Maharan it was there. Hima Das, before Khel Maharan it was there. And there's always a gap. You know, the Lovelina has gone it Olympic, and then who is going to be the next Lovelina? There has to be somebody in the next Lovelina. So bearing the Khel Maharan also, there are so many disciplines of games which are in Assam. There are many sports associations which are there. So through the associations, we are really trying to make it up. And then there have been sectors which have been come now. There are small Khelo India centers. There are university Khelo India University games. So through these only the players can really come up. You will be surprised to see varying, if I see of Northeast, you will say Manipur will always touch it. Manipur will always compete with the rest of India. Any Manipuri girls from here, from Manipur, from the state of Manipur, a big clap for you all because you all represent Northeast in the name of the list of all your, the top players. We go for the national and then you see the Manipur has to be there. And we also vouch for Manipur. If you go for, specifically if you go for nowadays for Shillong, Shillong is more of a football. you go for a Lajong club or any other, you are coming with an IPL now in Shillong. And then if you go for Mizoram, Mizoram is a hub of the basketball. You find more of the basketball players in Mizoram. If you see Mizoram, for all the Mizo boys or for all the Mizo girls over here, it's a huge round of applause to you all, because Mizoram is such a state where you don't find land, we don't find an area to have a basketball ground. But when I visited Mizoram, I had seen that Mizoram houses do own a basketball ground inside their houses. Inside their houses. Imagine then when we go on playing this mobile with the fingertips, they go with the basketball inside their house. So for a basketball court, you cannot make a basketball full court, but then you can have a basket in your house where you keep and you just pop the basketball. Thank you so much.
Can we take
Said
the
you're
last?
willing to implement to promote cultural diversity.
Okay, Assam is so rich in cultural diversity. The museum has a little, I will ask Sheila Bora again, to increase the cultural diversity of Assam. When we had seen the map, there were many who had been missed out. And for this cultural diversity of Assam, if you are saying it, especially what are the initiatives we are taking it, we are trying to see from the grassroots level, the culture of all the tribes as well as the non-tribes. We are trying to imbibe it, we are trying to put it up in the frame where it will not be where it will be reflected in the level of the national level. Now anybody there are states there are neighboring states, even the neighboring states can be a part in helping what the culture of Assam is really trying to put it up. Definitely there is a cultural department ministry under there. They are taking an initiative. Like we had in the sports department, we had done Khel Maharan. The cultural ministry has also done it, Sanskriti Mahasangram. So when the Sanskriti Mahasangram was there, specifically we wanted to have the roots. That is why we had gone for some of the musical attachment with all the youngsters, definitely in Rabindra Sangeet, definitely in those classical songs and dances. So to revive it, we are really trying to do it from the government of Assam to keep up its status. And I believe in the coming years, they will come up with more better opportunities for the other sections in the cultural field also. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.